If you've ever stood at the fridge at 5 p.m. and had no idea what to make, then this video is for you. By now, you've probably seen those videos of the little Lego-style bricks that are made using the super cubes on social media all over, and if you haven't, you probably will now because our devices are all listening to us. But the whole point of them is to mix and match so that you have variety and you're not eating the same boring thing day after day. So tonight it could be tacos, tomorrow it could be quesadillas, maybe nachos on the next night, burrito bowl, taco bowls. The options are really endless, and that's what we're doing today. These taco bar recipes are probably some of the easiest recipes that you could make. It does not require any long Sunday meal prep days. This is something that you just want to make a little extra when you're making dinner, and it's going to make your life so much easier. You can just build as you go. And super cubes is what makes this so simple because you have all these different sizes for the different components. Now, these 3 super cubes are the ones that I use the most when it comes to taco bar meal prep. And by the end of this video, you are going to have a freezer full of options so that you never have to stress taco night again, and you don't have to be standing at your fridge at 5 o'clock wondering what you're going to make because you're already prepared. Maybe for you, you are someone who is cooking for one, or you are on a fixed income. Maybe you are someone that has health issues, or you're in a really busy season of life and you have work where you're working late. Whatever your reason is, freezer meals helps take the mystery out of what you're going to make that night and makes dinner time so much easier. So in today's video, I am making 8 different freezer components for our taco bar. It's going to be 3 proteins, which is going to include your taco meat, your salsa chicken, and a Mexican braised slow-cooked beef. For our rices, we're gonna do a cilantro lime rice and a Mexican rice. And for our toppings, we're gonna do guacamole, a dairy-free queso, and refried beans. Now, I do all of our foods gluten-free and dairy-free based on food allergies in our family, but you do not have to make it that way. The nice thing about a taco bar is most of the items already kind of lend themselves to naturally being gluten-free and dairy-free. But of course, you can add whatever you want that doesn't make it that way. Then all you have to do is add your fresh ingredients like your lettuce, your tomato. If you want things like sour cream, cheese, dairy-free cheese, whatever it might be, those are things that you can add on last and just make sure that you have them ready by the time that you're ready to eat. Now let's start with the proteins. The reason I'm doing 3 proteins is so that we have good variety for the bottomless pits that live in my home. First meat that we're gonna do is the beef taco meat. Now this is your classic meat. This is gonna be used in everything. Now we personally like to use the 85-15 because I like to have the extra fat, particularly for my kids, but you can definitely use 90-10. And even though our recipe calls for oil in the pan for the ground beef, I would recommend not doing this if you have a fattier meat because it just ends up spitting everywhere when it's unnecessary because the meat will make its own fats and juices. All you're going to do is brown your ground beef. Once it is browned, you're gonna add your spices. Now the spices here that we're using is chili powder, cumin, oregano, garlic powder, salt, black pepper, and then we're also gonna add some tomato paste and some water, and that's gonna help get nice and thick and get this nice, delicious taco sauce. Once that's ready, you need to make sure that it's completely cooled before you put it in your super cubes. Now I use, for the meats, I like to use the half-cup portions because for me, that's the perfect size. For my kids, it's the perfect size. For my husband, he needs more, but he can take multiple cubes as opposed to using the 1-cup portions. Our second protein is going to be the salsa chicken. Now this is probably going to be your easiest recipe because all you're going to do is take your chicken and you're going to put it into the crock pot on high for 4 hours, I believe, and you're just gonna add your favorite salsa. So I used a peach mango salsa, threw that in there, and what I like about this and doing it in the crock pot over my Instant Pot is that I don't have to add any extra water. When you cook in the Instant Pot, a lot of times when you cook with salsa or any kind of tomato-based sauce, you can get the burn message, and I don't want that. So we do it in the crock pot, I kind of just set it and forget it, and then by the time that the 4 hours on high is done, all you have to do is shred it in the crock pot and leave it there until it cools. Once it's cool, you can go ahead and add it into your super cubes. And again, for this, we do this in the 1/2 cup measurement, and that seems to work out really, really well. Oh, and I do add taco seasoning. You don't have to do this though. I have not traditionally done this in the past, but if you have taco seasoning on hand or you want to make a little extra from the taco meat or you make some on your own, you can do that. Now, I will include the recipe to the taco seasoning that I like to use, and I will put that in the free download in the description. Now the next meat is a Mexican braised, slow-cooked beef. I had a London broil in my freezer, and I know that London broil tends to be a bit of a tougher meat and it can be difficult to cook. So I wanted to make this as moist as possible and make it almost like a shredded beef that you might have in a pot roast, but I want it to be Mexican style. So I took those delicious Mexican type spices and then made that into the pot roast. So what I did was seared the meat on all the sides, then I put it in the slow cooker and I added the spices and added some broth as well as some tomato sauce, mix that all together. And the key here is you want to make sure that that liquid is covering, or at least almost covering, the beef, because if it's not, it is going to dry out. Then all you do is set it to low for 10 hours. I like to do this overnight, so I just set it right before I go to bed, and then by the time I wake up, it's ready to shred. Now I do remove the beef and put it into a different bowl and shred it there, and then I'll add some of the juices back because you don't want all those juices. If you had to use a lot like I did, then you don't want it to be just swimming like it's a soup. So you just want to add enough to moisten the meat, but not too much where it is more soupy than anything. Once that cools, you'll put that into the super cubes. And again, because this is a protein, we are going to use the half cup portion for this London broil braised beef Mexican style food. Oh my goodness. This has been open the whole time, hasn't it been? I can thank my children for that one. Okay, next we're going to talk about the rices. So I made two different kinds of rice. I made a Mexican rice as well as a cilantro lime rice. Now cilantro lime rice tends to be one of the more popular rices when it comes to taco style dishes, but I really wanted to try this Mexican rice because honestly, I didn't know that there was a difference between Spanish rice and a Mexican rice. And if you didn't know that too, you should definitely look it up because that was news to me. But I really like the Mexican rice, and so do my kids. In fact, my youngest son has always been obsessed with rice. He really likes wild rice, and he just recently told me yesterday that Mexican rice is now his new favorite. For this rice, the first thing you're gonna do is add your oil and your onions, and you're gonna saute them for about 4 minutes or so. Then you're gonna add your rice and your garlic, and then you'll continue to saute that for about another 2 minutes. Now the rice I decided to use was basmati rice because that is my favorite, but any kind of long grain rice would work just fine. Next, you'll add the tomato sauce, the salt, the cumin, the cayenne pepper if you're using it, and then stir it all together, making sure to scrape the bottom so that the rice doesn't burn. And I am using my Instant Pot because I really prefer to use that for rice, so this recipe is specifically for the Instant Pot, but of course if you know how to do it on the stove, you can definitely do that too. Then you'll set it for high pressure, the manual, for 8 minutes, and then it's going to be a quick release when that's done. Once the rice is done, all you have to do is then take a wooden spoon and kind of fluff that rice up a little bit and then wait for it to cool. And then what I like to use this in is the 1 cup silicone super cubes, and that seems to be a really good portion for us all. Of course, if you want to use the half cup, I've definitely done those as well, and you can always just do 2 if you want extra, but the 1 cup and the half cup, probably both of them, I use pretty equally for this Mexican rice. For our next rice is the cilantro lime rice. So if you're looking for something a little fresher, a little brighter, then this might be a really good option for you. If you're someone that thinks that cilantro tastes like soap, you can either skip this section or just plan on doing it as maybe like a lime rice that's just more of a plain rice than it does have cilantro. First thing you're gonna do is add the rice and the oil to the Instant Pot and mix it up really, really well. You're gonna let that cook for about 5 minutes till you kind of smell this nutty aroma. You then add the garlic, the lime zest, and salt for about 30 seconds. Turn off your Instant Pot, add your water, stir, put the lid on, and then you're gonna cook it on high pressure manual for 3 minutes and let it do a natural pressure release for 10 minutes. You'll then open the Instant Pot, add your lime juice and your cilantro, mix it really well together, and then wait for that to cool. Then you can go ahead and put it in your super cubes. Again, using the 1 cup or the half cup seems to work really well for the rice portions. That now brings us to toppings, where we kind of tie everything together, and that's gonna help make the completed dishes. The first topping is I make a homemade refried beans. This is a really easy recipe, but if you prefer not to make it yourself, you can definitely use a can of your favorite one. The first thing you're gonna do is use a saucepan on the stove, and you're gonna cook your onions in some oil until it's translucent, usually about 5 to 8 minutes. Then you'll add your spices, you'll add the garlic, the chili powder, and the cumin, and you're gonna cook about 30 seconds. And then what you'll do is you'll take the beans, we use 2 cans of the pinto beans, which need to be drained and rinsed, and you're gonna add them to the pot as well. You'll also add some water, and then you're gonna cover it and cook for about 5 minutes. Now I cooked it on low because my burner tends to be pretty strong, but you can cook it probably a little bit higher than that if you wanted to. After the 5 minutes, I just take a potato masher and I mash up the beans to the consistency that I want, and I'm cooking for probably another 3 minutes or so, trying to make sure that the bottom is not burning. You then remove your pot from the heat, add your cilantro, add your lime juice, and you are set. Now you just gotta wait for it to cool again, and then go ahead and put it in your super cubes. So now for this one, I actually didn't want it just the 2 tablespoons. You can use this smaller super cube size of 2 tablespoons if you only like a little bit of refried beans, but I know that my husband, who's the one that likes refried beans, I do not, and my kids do not. So this is really for my husband, that he likes a little bit more, but a half a cup is still a bit too much. So what I do is probably do more like maybe a quarter cup to a third of a cup in the half cup sizes. And that seems to work for him, but it's a very simple process. And according to my husband, my human garbage disposal, bottomless pit, he loves it. The next thing we're gonna make is this creamy, vegan, dairy-free queso. Now, if you do not need to eat dairy-free, you can skip this part of the video and just use your favorite queso or cheese. But if you are dairy-free, then we need to talk honestly here. I am not a fan of nutritional yeast whatsoever. If you are, you're probably gonna love this recipe, but if you are not, you might not. And I wish that there were cheesy type foods that didn't have the nutritional yeast, but it just is the way that it goes in the dairy-free world. But I can give you my less picky people in the house, their opinion. Like my husband thinks it tastes just like cheese. My 2 sons loved it hot, but do not like it cold, which I can relate to that because regular dairy queso is gross cold, in my opinion. But I'm just a little picky. So if you don't have a nutritional yeast aversion, then you might love this recipe. So let's talk about what goes into it. First thing you're gonna do is take the onion and you're gonna put it in a little bit of oil and cook it for about 5 minutes. The next step is a little weird, but it works for whatever reason. You're gonna take a grated russet potato. So just make sure you grate that really well. Nice and finely shredded is gonna make it cook much faster. So take the garlic, the paprika, the chili powder, the cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, and salt. Stir to combine everything, and you're gonna cook this for about 1 to 2 minutes. You're then gonna add cashews and water, and you're gonna let that simmer for about 5 to 8 minutes or so. Now, some people might prefer to pre-soak their cashews, but if you have a high-speed blender like a Vitamix, you will not need to do this. If you don't, you might wanna consider pre-soaking them first. You'll then pour everything into your Vitamix. This is where you're gonna add your nutritional yeast, your sun-dried tomatoes. You're also gonna need to do a little bit of vinegar and hot sauce if you like it like that. You'll blend for about 2 minutes until it's very smooth. You can always add a little water if you want it a different consistency. It's at that point that you'll add your fire roasted tomatoes, or if you prefer to add salsa or fresh tomatoes, you can do that as well. And then wait until it's completely cool, just like everything else, and that is when you're going to fill your 2 tablespoon super cubes. And this is a very good portion. Don't overdo it unless you really like a lot of queso. Then maybe you could go to the half cup, but really all you need is the 2 tablespoons. Our last topping is gonna be guacamole. Yes, you can freeze guacamole. Yes, it stays green, which is very exciting. My guacamole recipe is a more measure with your heart kind of recipe. So we actually found avocados on discount at a discount grocery store that we have nearby us. I don't know if you have anything like that near you. If you do, you should definitely leave it in the comments though, your state and the name of the discount grocery store, because you'd be surprised how many people are not aware that they have them right around them. But the avocados there were about 50 cents a piece, so we were able to get about 10 of them, and I made just a ton of guacamole because my kids really, really love it and they just eat it with everything. So I'll tell you what I do, but really, again, this is a measure with your heart kind of thing. I took all of the avocado, I put it into a mixing bowl, and then I got it as creamy as I could in that mixing bowl based on the level of creaminess that we want. I also add garlic powder and salt, and that's pretty much it, with the exception of lime juice to try to keep that bright green and keep it from browning as quickly. So you're gonna measure that, maybe start with the lime juice with about a teaspoon or so, and then see how you like the taste and add more. And do the same thing with the garlic powder. Don't overdo the garlic powder, but start with like a little bit at a time and then just add. Same thing with the salt. And eventually you'll know when it's right, when it just has that perfect flavor. And then if you want to add some fresh tomatoes, you could do it at that time as well, or just leave it as is, but you'll go ahead and put that into your super cubes too. So I actually did it in the half cup sizes and in the 2 tablespoon sizes, because my kids tend to use both. And when they're sharing, they'll take a half cup out. And it's really easy to get it ready. You can take it out of the freezer the night before when you know you're gonna be using it and just put it in your fridge so it can thaw overnight. But we just stick it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, and then about 10 to 15 second increments, you're gonna then stir it and just make sure that it's all mixed really well so you don't have any hot or cold spots. So that is what we have found has been the best way, but you can definitely do it overnight in the fridge. So now you have a freezer full of all these different taco bar components. And here's where the Lego style meals come in, because this is where you then take the cubes that you want and you mix them and match them however you want based on what you're in the mood for. So I'll tell you what we did last night, because every person in my family had a different meal last night. My oldest son had a quesadilla. In his quesadilla, he had the Mexican rice, the salsa chicken, he had some Daya dairy-free cheese, he added queso, and then also lettuce and tomato on top. And then made sure to let me know this was probably one of the best quesadillas he's ever had. For my youngest son, he really loves the hard shell tacos, so he had just your traditional taco. In his was taco meat, he had the Mexican rice, guacamole, lettuce, and tomato. My husband had a burrito bowl, and I just put whatever in there because he just will eat anything. So what I put for him was a cilantro lime rice, salsa chicken, taco meat, refried beans, his regular cheddar cheese because he's not dairy-free, lettuce and tomato, sour cream, and guacamole, and he loved it. I also can put a lot more food in there for him because he obviously has a bigger appetite than the rest of us. For me, I just had a soft taco with taco meat, cheese, guacamole, lettuce and tomato, and the Mexican rice, and that was delicious. And I gotta be honest, I'm not really a huge taco fan. I know that people are, and this is like a sin to even say that, but I just have never been really a huge Mexican food taco fan, but for some reason this was just incredible. So I've been really pleased with being able to have all these options. And I'm also someone that does like nachos though. So for me, if I might not want to do tacos like the rest of the family, I can just take out the meat that I want and put it on nachos and make myself just a loaded nacho dish. You can also do taco bowls with the crispy shell on the outside. So instead of just a burrito bowl that has beans, like the actual taco bowl, you can make taco salad. You could take the meat and put it on a pizza. If you've ever had taco pizza before, I hear that they're amazing. That's an option as well. Basically, the options are endless. You can even add it to scrambled eggs, to whatever your morning breakfast scramble might be. They are so good and so nutritious, and you know exactly what's in them, so there's a lot of benefit to that. Reheating is really easy. I use the microwave, you don't have to. You can use an air fryer, you can use a toaster oven, you could use whatever. You can use it on the stove. A lot of people like to reheat on the stove if they don't have a microwave or just don't want to use a microwave. That is totally fine. For us using a microwave, I usually start it at about 2 minutes when I'm heating it up, break everything up, and then maybe put it in for another minute or two. It really depends on the size. For the rice that are in the 1 cup, I find that 2 to 3 minutes tends to be perfect for that. And if it is in anything smaller, it might even take less time. So you just want to keep an eye on the time, and it will never go past 5 minutes though. So that, just make sure you remember that. So this is how we do taco night now. No more stressing, no more everyone has to eat the same thing. Just open the freezer, grab what you want, and go. I'm not doing this as a big Sunday meal prep day. You don't have to do that. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Sometimes it's just easier to make extra of whatever you're making. So if you're making a meal one night and it includes rice, try one of the different rices that would be perfect for the taco bar, and you will have extra. Make extra so that you have it in your freezer. Making extra is always gonna be a lot less work than doing big meal prep days. Again, I will put all the recipes down in the description where you can download them for free. I'll also include any notes to make dairy-free, gluten-free, or anything that I might have changed from the recipes that I have. And I'll also link the super cubes that I used in this video down in the description if you wanna check those out too. And if you want to see more freezer prep meal ideas using super cubes, I did a video with over 30 plus meals, and I will link that above if you're interested in that. And if you found this video helpful and you want to see more in the future, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. 10 to 15 second recommend and do, let's try this again. Then do 10 to 15 second, okay. I cannot speak today.